Welcome back, all my Nightmare brothers and sisters. This is your boy Broja, coming at you with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Tonight we are taking on the first event for the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. As you can see, I've already beaten it. I did it a couple weeks ago with Wampa. I was hoping to have CLS ready to go by now so I could do both of the first two tiers, but I've been working on my C-Pit team, so CLS kind of took a back seat because there's a lot more that needs to happen to get to Jedi Knight Luke anyway, and we need C-Pit teams desperately. So I've got 5 or 6 ready to go now. But anyway, so I'm just going to do the Wampa here. So this first event is just the Wampa versus Luke. As you can see, that there was a minimum requirement of Relic Tier 3. I will say it's probably much easier to do this if you take him to Relic 5, which is my plan eventually. But again, with the focus on the C-Pit teams, Wampa just needs to wait because I don't have a team to put him on for C-Pit. It's really just a kitchen sink tune for P4, and since we're not there yet, there's really no need for him to be at C5 yet, or Relic 5 yet, except to make this event easier. For modding, I went with 3 straight tenacity sets. The big thing against this in this battle is making sure that you're not getting debuffed a lot from Luke. So I've got my tenacity all the way up to 143%. Ideally, to make this event easier, it would have been nice if I had found some tenacity sets with more potency on them, because there's some debuffs that you're going to be wanting to put on Luke. But I really couldn't find them, so this event is a little bit of RNG for me. But if you're watching this and you can find some tenacity sets that have potency secondaries, by all means put them on. I also probably should have made my Wampa much faster, but I didn't want to do a whole lot of remodding for this event. I just wanted to get it done. So I don't have a ton of speed on him at all. It's really just tenacity, surviving, to make sure that I don't get a ton of debuffs from Luke. I'm going to anyway, even with such a high tenacity, but it is what it is. So this event, or for this, Wampa really just has 3 abilities. His basic is going to apply dots, which that's where the potency comes into play. It would be very nice if we had that. Also, if Luke is exposed or staggered, it would stun him, which will come into play with the other abilities. Because I don't have high potency, I don't really stagger or stun Luke very often. It's pretty rare. So that's part of what makes this event a little bit more difficult for me, is because I don't have that potency up. So, and when we do the attack, if we don't have any debuffs, we gain an extra 20% of turn meter. So that is huge. You can hit Luke with your basic multiple times in a row as long as you don't have any debuffs. Now, we do have a way to clear those debuffs, and that's going to be his first special. I try to save this ability until he has applied debuffs on me, especially he will apply buff immunity as well as speed down, but it also gives us protection up, which is massive. So there are going to be times when Luke's getting ready to hit us with a big hit, and so if we can time it right and get the protection up, that's a nice benefit. This last ability really boosts our offense. So we get critical chance and accuracy and offense. We get the last piece of it with the turn meter for defeated allies. Doesn't really come into play too much. I mean, we do get the 15% because Luke is active, but that's about it. So inflicting the healing immunity doesn't really do anything because Luke will just clear it with his special anyway. So the goal here is to use your basic as much as possible, get a bunch of dots on him before he can clear them. Hopefully then you can take him out. So just because I like having the protection up right out of the gate, just because sometimes, especially with my Wampa being slow, Luke will sometimes take a couple of turns and I'm not ready for it, and he'll hit me with his big hit and I don't have the protection, and that'll end the battle real quick. So we'll get that protection up. See, here comes Luke. He got that call to action. So now we've got the dots on him. Because we don't have any debuffs, we're going to be gaining 20% turn meter with every hit, and hopefully applying some extra dots. Well, we only got one there. Oh, we're not applying them. This isn't a great run. We're only getting a couple. But now we want to get that extra 15% again, plus the accuracy, the critical chance. So let's hope we can get some dots here. There's one. Oh, his call to action was ready to go. All right, so now we see why it's important to have this ready to go. You don't want it on cooldown. We want to make sure we clear those buffs as quickly as possible, get our protection back up so that when we do our basic, we're gaining that turn meter, and then he hit us with buff immunity anyway. So this doesn't do us any good right now because we have buff immunity, so we're not going to be gaining anything on offense. We'd be gaining a little bit of turn meter, but not really worth using that. We really just need to hit them as hard as we can and get our first special off of cooldown so we can clear the debuffs. We're applying some nice dots, but as you can see, Luke just keeps going back and forth with Luke. His health will come down. You really just need a run where everything kind of goes right. Now we'll get that turn meter boost. We don't have any debuffs. We need a run where our dots are landing and we're not getting it right now. So that's kind of a bummer. Let's try and get it again. Nope. So even though I don't have any debuffs right now and Luke's going to hit us again with a debuff, we need the protection more than we need to worry about clearing any debuffs. So we're going to do that now. This is not a great run, but ooh, here we go. Big hit. Come on. I got him all the way down to red, but his form or his call to action cleared it. All right, so let's get some turn meter again. Boost our offense. Hit him as hard as we can. We don't need to clear the debuffs. Now we're going to need to, unless he takes us out. See, after he does that call to action, he hits us really hard. So now we're in a bit of a pickle here. We need that turn meter. We just are not landing our dots. But one more hit. Done. There it is. So even though that run wasn't great, as long as you are managing your special moves correctly and paying attention to the debuffs that you are that Luke is putting on you, you'll be able to get through the event without having to go to Relic 5, as a lot of people do. So you can do it at the minimum, the Relic 3. Just put a bunch of tenacity on so that you're avoiding all the debuffs that Luke's going to put on you. And sometimes you might have to try it a few times. I actually had to try it a few times before I cleared it the first time. Just kind of getting used to the moves because I hadn't really used Wampa a whole lot. So, but once you kind of get used to that and see the rhythm of when you're applying each of the or using each one of Wampa's special moves, you'll be able to get through it. So, until next time, remember, expendable might be in our name, but none of you are expendable to me.